The American military chases a group of Syrian terrorists through rough terrain. During the pursuit, the terrorists overturn an American military vehicle. When the dust settles, they prepare to retreat to their base, but someone begins eliminating them one by one. The American forces were never fully defeated. The attacker is Lieutenant Parker, a skilled female officer who slipped behind enemy lines and dismantled the group. After capturing the remaining terrorists, Parker and her partner Spider secure them for interrogation. An American soldier loses control and tries to execute the prisoners, but Parker stops him. The mission ends with all objectives met. Parker and Spider head to the airbase for their return to the United States. The battlefield falls silent. This is trigger warning. On the road, Parker receives a call from her friend Jesse, a local sheriff. He reports a landslide in their hometown. Her father, a miner, was buried and killed. Shocked, Parker fights back tears as she travels home. Back in the United States, Parker visits the police station to meet Jesse. He cannot explain the cause of the landslide. At the scene, he found a letter addressed to Parker. He suspects her father triggered the collapse on purpose. Parker rejects the idea. Her father was strong and steady. He showed no signs of despair and even sent her a supportive letter before her mission. With no further evidence, Jesse suspends the investigation and drives Parker to her family property, a small bar that rarely draws customers. She considers selling it after the funeral. Inside, she studies a photo of her father, once a member of an elite Mexican unit, and offers a silent prayer. As she sits alone in the quiet bar, a car pulls up outside. A man steps through the door. Parker attacks without hesitation, then stops in shock when she recognizes her old friend Mickey, who once helped her father run the bar and worked with him at the stone quarry. She lowers her guard and apologizes. She asks Mickey about the landslide and requests a visit to the site. They drive to the mining area and enter the cave her father built. He had worked there since leaving Mexico to support her. Memories surface of childhood days when he brought her to the cave and taught her martial arts. The sight of dried blood on the rocks deepens her grief. Parker notices black scorch marks on the cave walls. They look like the aftermath of a grenade blast. She suspects the landslide was man-made. To confirm, she takes a grenade and heads out with Mickey to find a safe spot for a test. As they walk, Parker recalls how her father named the bar Maria's after her grandmother and kept the family recipes alive. She could not stay to run it because of her military duties. They reach an open area. Parker pulls the pin and throws the grenade. The explosion leaves the same black stains on shattered stone. The proof is clear. Someone caused the disaster. The question of who haunts her. Sensing her tension, Mickey suggests a night out. They visit a bar in the city where they meet Elvis, Jesse's younger brother. Elvis flirts and jokes, but Parker stays calm. Later that night, they leave and spot a car with armed men. Suspicious, they follow at a distance. The men plan to rob a hardware store. Mickey warns her to stay out of it, but Parker steps in alone. Unarmed, she disables the gang with swift precision. After subduing the robbers, she notices a familiar watch on the ground. It belongs to her uncle. She returns it to him. He thanks her, offers condolences for her father's death, and apologizes for being unable to help sooner. The next morning, Parker hears a distant explosion. The blast came from a rocket-propelled grenade fired by Elvis. Civilian firearm ownership is legal, but heavy weapons like RPGs are restricted to the military. Elvis either stole or smuggled the weapon. To find proof, Parker calls Spider, a trusted ally with advanced hacking skills. Within hours, Spider uncovers extensive records showing that Elvis runs an illegal arms business on the dark web. He has avoided detection because his father, a senator, shields him from the law. The discovery makes Parker suspect a link between Elvis and her father's death. Spider warns her to stay cautious and gather more evidence before acting. Following that advice, Parker trails Elvis and his crew to a nearby military base. They move freely inside, likely using the senator's influence and help from corrupt soldiers who steal weapons from the warehouse. After observing them, Parker visits Mickey and his mother to learn more about Elvis. The locals know only that Elvis flaunts the rules and relies on his father's power. They have no details about arms trafficking. Later, Spider reports that Elvis is preparing a weapons deal at his house, guarded by armed men. Parker slips through the property and watches as he sells weapons to the leader of a violent organization that has stirred unrest across the country. That night, Parker invites Jessie to her home for drinks. They recall their high school years when they were close before she left for the military academy. Jessie speaks fondly of her father's kindness, regretting that he cannot repay it now. They drink until they fall asleep. In the quiet hours, Parker wakes, takes Jessie's police station keys, and enters the station. She gathers every file related to her father's death, then steps into the autopsy room to see his body one final time. Grief overtakes her. Alone in the cold room, she vows to avenge the murder of her father. Several days after the funeral, Parker begins to recover. One evening, she joins Jessie for dinner with his father Ease. Ease, a corrupt politician, acts with open arrogance and makes veiled racist remarks about Latinos. The atmosphere turns tense. During the meal, Parker receives a call from Spider. Elvis has been spotted at the mining site. She leaves immediately. At the site, Parker deflates the tires of Elvis's vehicle and enters the cave. Elvis sits on her late father's couch, mocking Latinos in front of his gang. Rage takes over. Before she can strike him, Parker sees flames outside. Elvis's men have set her father's bar on fire. She rushes to stop them. Parker kills the arsonists, but cannot save the building. Her father's belongings burn to ashes. Enraged, she returns to Elvis and beats him severely. Jessie arrives and arrests her. Parker learns that Jessie has been helping Elvis run the arms trade to fund Ease's political campaign. Soon after, Spider sends a lawyer to secure her release. The lawyer searches the mining site for evidence, but disappears after an encounter with Jessie. The next day, Ease's family tortures Parker in the jail cell, demanding any proof her father might have left. They admit they killed her father because he tried to block their weapons deals. They fear that CCTV footage from the mine could expose them. Ease offers to confess if Parker surrenders all evidence. Parker has already freed herself from the handcuffs. She attacks Ease and his sons but cannot finish them off because the police side with the family.
In the cell now!
She steals Jessie's car and flees. Wounds from the fight grow worse, and she loses consciousness on the road. Meanwhile, Elvis and his crew search Mickey's house for Parker. Mickey and his mother hide her in the basement. When Parker wakes, she tells them Elvis is responsible for her father's death and vows to make him suffer. Elsewhere, Jessie disposes of the lawyer's body with Elvis, burying it in secret ground as if it were nothing more than a stray animal. 3 days later, Parker recovers from her injuries and starts gathering weapons. She reaches out to trusted contacts for firearms and ammunition, then asks her uncle for blades to complete her arsenal. Meanwhile, Ease and Jessie grow anxious. The leader of the violent organization that purchased weapons from Elvis demands delivery. Elvis has failed to provide the goods, and the leader threatens to sabotage Ease's campaign if the shipment does not arrive soon. After the tense meeting, Ease and Jessie focus on securing their arms deals, unaware that Parker and Mickey are ready to strike. When night falls, Mickey waits outside as Parker slips into the compound. She silently takes down a guard in the living room and moves upstairs to confront Ease. Cornered, Ease confesses that he misled her. Jessie was the one who killed her father after discovering the illegal transactions at the mine. Her father tried to bring the cave down with a grenade but died in the collapse. Fueled by the truth, Parker sets her sights on Jessie and Elvis. She thanks Mickey for his help and begins surveillance with a sniper rifle. Soon, she spots Spider arriving at the mining site. Elvis's henchmen surround him with weapons drawn. Parker opens fire to intervene but cannot stop them from capturing him.
My shoes.
Determined to free her ally, she infiltrates the cave. Inside, Jessie and Elvis argue with the organization's leader while a car packed with weapons explodes nearby, a trap set by Parker that they have yet to notice. She seizes the chaos to rescue Spider, then leads him through the tunnels to hunt the criminals. An ambush splits them apart in the dark passages. While searching for Spider, Parker is attacked by the gang leader. She defeats him but is blindsided by Elvis, who appears with a shotgun and hurls racist slurs. Driven by rage, she overpowers him and ends the fight with lethal precision. Moments later, Mickey, Parker's uncle, arrives with several others to help, only to find that Parker has already eliminated every enemy. She heads to the far side of the cavern to free Spider from the rubble. With Spider safe, Parker follows a narrow tunnel that leads to a hidden military weapons depot where Jesse is hiding. She feigns weakness, claiming injuries from a desert ambush, and the soldiers allow her deeper inside for treatment. While they prepare medical supplies, she scans the area and spots Jesse. She strikes without hesitation. During the fight, Jesse pulls the pin from a grenade and admits his guilt. He confesses that he killed Parker's father under pressure from his family and says he cannot live with the crime. Before Parker can stop him, he ends his life in an act of remorse. The death leaves Parker conflicted. Her father's killer is gone, and justice feels served, yet the knowledge that a former friend carried out the murder weighs heavily on her. 1 month later, radio reports confirm that the entire Ease family has died in separate violent incidents. Parker focuses on rebuilding her bar and asks Mickey to manage it. With the bar secure and Spider at her side, she returns to the central military base to prepare for their next mission. The story closes on their quiet departure. So the moral of the story is, if your family runs a bar, keep a spare grenade handy, because shady politicians, crooked cops, and loudmouth brothers might all show up before happy hour.